Hello. I know, I'm a mess. I'm out there bottle feeding ducks, and my damn eczema's crazy, and so I finally broke down and washed my face with the stuff, and now it's blood red, so you all will just have to deal with that. Alright. Grief. Today's post is grief. It's probably going to be a couple posts, but right now it's grief. Grief is that a month before your son dies, you feel a lump and you have a mammogram, and then your mammogram's abnormal, and you go and they do ultrasounds. And of course, those are fucking abnormal. Then they call you. They start calling you. Well, then your son dies. Then they start calling you saying, you know, you need to come follow up. You need to do this or do that, or, you know, and you have to tell them on the phone like 3 times. I don't give a fuck if I have breast cancer and die. I just don't fucking care. You know, my child is rotting in the ground. I don't fucking care. To where finally, the last time, you finally have to be kind of abrupt and say, you know, when I give a shit again, I'll call you and let you know. But until then, please don't call me. And, you know, it's December made 2 years that Logan's been gone. And, I still don't really give a shit enough to deal with that. So, you know, it must not have been breast cancer, or I'd be dead right by now, right? You know, grief is when you don't brush your hair for weeks and weeks, and you're constantly have to pick knots out of it, and then you can't get the fucking knots out of it to the point you gotta cut your fucking hair off. And grief is to where you don't take showers for weeks. You know, in the beginnings, you'll go 2 months, you don't take a shower. And your eczema is so crazy bad, it's fucking, you know, like I said, I'm over 2 years in, and I still fucking don't wash my face and shit until my eczema gets really bad. And then I deal with this shit. But by tomorrow, I'll be all cleared up, so I'm good. But anyway, you know, grief is to where you don't fucking brush your teeth for weeks and weeks at a time. And then, you know, you think about it. You gotta go to the doctor or whatever, and you brush them once, and then you don't brush them again for weeks and weeks and weeks. And you know, you don't bathe. You put on underarm deodorant and wash your ass if you have to go to the doctor, and that's the most anybody's getting out of you. You know, and so your teeth start falling apart, and where you normally would have, you know, got a filling, got a root canal and a crown, whatever, you're just like, you know, just fucking pull it so I can fucking go home, because I don't fucking care. To where all your teeth are pulled almost. And so now, you know, I almost give a shit enough to fucking do something about that situation, but not fucking really. Not quite enough to do something about it, but I'm getting there. So I have decided, I put together this little grief timeline, this grief Facebook timeline. And what this is are my posts from Facebook. I mean, of course, you ain't got the pictures and shit, but, you know, my posts from Facebook of how fucked up all of it was. Just such a fucked up situation. So, you know, Logan was in the hospital for 4 months. He got out December 18th. He wrote a 7-page suicide note December 18th. He read online, wait 3 days before you do anything to make sure you're not going to change your mind. Well, Logan didn't change his mind. Those 3 days, he seemed great. Great. Fucking awesome. So, on the 21st, he stole my 9mm out from under my mattress. And he baited me outside, you know. And then said he had to come in to use the bathroom. And we watched him on the security cameras later. He got the gun. He got car keys out of my purse. He left his note on his bed because he didn't want me to hear it. He didn't want me to find him. He didn't want to fuck up my sheetrock. You know, blah, blah, blah. So, he went to the hospital because he knew they could identify his body and I wouldn't have to. Although, you know, all that was a moot point anyway because he didn't die right away. And he parked in their parking lot. He went through their double sets of security gates. He parked in their parking lot and shot himself in the head. And he sat there and bled until an employee found him. None of them heard the shot or anything like that, so we're not really sure how long he sat there and bled, but he sat there and bled out. And when they found him, he was still having some agonal respirations. If any, you know, I don't know who else familiar with those, but, you know, that's not good. Anyway, so here are my Facebook posts. And we're probably going to have to break this into a couple videos just because my fucking internet sucks. Alright, December 22nd. Logan did this December 21st. We got, you know, the police notified us they had found him. He was on a helicopter. We went to Richmond, to MCV, which is a wonderful fucking hospital, wonderful hospital. Logan couldn't have gotten any better care, but, you know, there was nothing they could do. They knew that from when he got there. So sometime after midnight that night, I posted this. As some of you know, we are having a tremendous tragedy right now. Please pray for my little Logan's soul. We will lose him in the next few hours. He is my baby, and I cannot believe my precious, kind-hearted child is going to leave this world at only 16. This all feels like a bad dream, like I'm in a fog. I'm not sure I can do this, but I don't have a choice. I want to scream. I want to do something to help him, but there's nothing anyone can do. Thank God I have my family, especially my husband, my parents, my oldest son and his family, my wonderful stepson and his girlfriend here with me. Please hug your children especially hard every time. I hugged Logan especially hard Monday morning, so that morning that he did it. I don't know why I did, but I did. Now I am so glad that I did. I hate to put all this on Facebook, but I think I need to vent a little and let people know what's going on. December 23rd, Logan update. We had been with them in the hospital, and then on the 22nd, the day I made the last post, he was pronounced dead later that day. And we eventually, at some point on the 23rd, we came home. I took a couple Xanaxes and laid down for a few hours. And all we were waiting on was his blood work so they could donate his organs. And they were waiting for the recipients to be notified and be ready in the OR suites. So they called us when they had an OR time for him. December 23rd. This was like 8 o'clock at night or something. Logan update. We are on our way to MCV in Richmond. Logan's OR time is 1 a.m. They have 7 matching recipients for his organs. We found out later there was only 4 because some people got multiple organs. I am in disbelief that this has happened, especially right before Christmas. But 7 people will now receive Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve. So they said because of Logan's age and body size, his organs could accommodate adults or children. So some of the recipients are adults and some are children. The only organs they could not place were his intestines, so those will go to research. I will miss my baby, but he will live on. Hug your children. Also, we couldn't donate his eyes because in Virginia, any time a death is like not natural causes or not expected, they have to do an autopsy. So Logan, even though we knew it was suicide, had to have an autopsy. So he, the medical examiner had to sign off on what they could take and what they couldn't. And the medical examiner would not sign off on them taking his eyes because they said it could affect, the medical examiner checking all the beveling and all that shit. Okay, December 24th. It is done. This is 2015. December 24th, it is done. They took him to the OR at 5 a.m. and he was out by 9:30. They had never done it before, but they took him to a secluded room and let me love on him and kiss his face and smell him for about 10 minutes after surgery, with all of his tubes out. One person was already at MCV getting ready to go into surgery for a new kidney. I believe his heart and lungs are going to a 16-year-old girl, I think at UVA, which I was wrong. It was a 14-year-old girl and she was at Boston Children's. The rest I don't know about. Thank God for my wonderful family and thank God for the wonderful staff at MCV who took such wonderful care of both my child and myself. They knew from the time the helicopter arrived that his wound was not survivable, yet he had his own nurse the entire time and was treated with dignity and compassion. The staff of the neurointensive care unit really helped him and us through this for the past 3 days. All of the organ donation coordinators were beyond helpful, and they all went above and beyond to assist us however they could. Please hug your children often. My baby's last words were be back in a few minutes, but I think now, I believe they were, I'll be right back or something like that. Never forget that every time you look at your loved ones could be the last, no matter how unlikely. Alright, there were other posts in between, but I skipped them because, they were just like crazy. Me on Xanax, saying, Logan, I can't do this. Logan, come home. January 7th, 2016, we buried him New Year's Eve, so he'd been buried at a week at this point. At 1 to 2 a.m., he always came into my room to tell or ask me some totally random thing. At about 3, he always ran downstairs for cereal or Oreos, and by 4, he always needed AA batteries. Where are you? My child has made me late for work so that he could stop and feed a stray dog, even if it meant going to the closest convenience store, buy a can of food, and then going back to find the stray and feed it. He would stop and get a turtle out of the road. Logan had his faults, but he had a very good heart. He wanted happiness and fair treatment for everyone. Not everyone saw this side of him, but some of us did. He wrote a 7-page letter so I would know that he loved me and he didn't blame anyone for this happening, although he was very accusing towards some people, but not towards me or Ernie or any of us. So much goodness and potential is gone from this world. He dreamed of a future that included volunteer work for animal welfare groups. He was not just someone's crazy kid. He was my sweet child, and the loss of him is a great loss to the world. The world will be a lesser place without him in it. Oh, Lord, please, I need to sleep. Alright, I'm almost hitting my 15-minute mark, and I don't know if that's my internet or what, but I'm going to go, or if it's a YouTube thing, but I'm going to mark this as video number 1 about grief, and I'm going to go ahead and post it. Bye.